It is said the backbone of the Marine Corps is the Marine non-commissioned officer. And for 1st Marine Logistics Group Forward, this statement holds true every day while deployed to Helmand Province, Afghanistan.
When the Commanding General and I travel around the battle space, quite typically what you see is Marines, NCOs leading.
In addition to leading Marines, the Marine NCOs of 1st Marine Logistics Group have many other responsibilities. These non-commissioned officers are oftentimes at forward operating bases and patrol bases with little to no supervision, ensuring that MLG's mission is accomplished.
When you get to the FOBs, the PVs, you name it across the battle space, the individual that is the face of the MLG in getting things done across the battle space are NCOs and young Lance Corporals and PFCs.
While the overall mission of the logistics combat element may be different from that of the aviation element or ground element, the Marine NCO's mission remains the same.
An NCO is an NCO. We demand the same things from our NCOs, whether they be in any element of the MAGTEC. Our NCOs do exactly what they're tasked to do each and every day. Our NCOs are great leaders. They're great examples of professional and personal conduct.
The hard work and dedication of the 1st Marine Logistics Group's non-commissioned officers has not gone unnoticed. The Commanding General and Group Sergeant Major received praises about their NCO's work while in a combat zone.
What I'd like to say on behalf of the Commanding General and myself is that we're extremely proud of them. They're doing a great job. Everywhere we travel across the battle space, we get accolades from everybody, from battalion commanders, first sergeants, company gunnery sergeants. Everybody's very, very happy with our NCOs.
The heritage of Marine Corps non-commissioned officers was established many years ago, and the NCOs of 1st Marine Logistics Group continue to emulate that professionalism while deployed.
And I would just tell our young NCOs that are out there, whether they be on a convoy, a FOB, a PB, or on Camp Leatherneck doing whatever we task them to do, is they're going to do their job professionally, take care of each other, take care of themselves, and to keep our honor clean as United States Marines, and be the example of the best daggone force that we have in our United States Marines.
While deployed, many service members do not have access to the luxuries they typically enjoy in garrison. Forward operating bases, patrol bases, and combat outposts are widely spread throughout Helmand Province, Afghanistan, and many Marines and sailors do not have the opportunity to visit a post exchange. Without access to a permanent PX, acquiring a small taste of home can typically only be achieved through care packages. Luckily for the service members deployed to remote locations, the non-commissioned officers, or NCOs, of Warfighter Exchange Services Team travel throughout the area of operations to ensure the Marines and sailors are able to purchase some morale boosters.
Our mission is to provide you guys on the front lines, the outlying PBs and cops that don't have a PX at their location, to take a PX out to them for a couple of days, get them service, get some of the basic supplies they need.
West teams often consist of at least one MCCS NCO to run the mobile PX and one dispersing NCO to ensure the service members have access to cash. Additionally, Postal Marines are oftentimes attached to the West team to bring mail and pick up packages that are sent home. The Marines who operate the mobile PX begin the process by stocking their mobile store containers with supplies, gear, food, drinks, hygiene items, electronics, and more. Once the Marines have a fully stocked container, the mobile store is loaded onto a tactical vehicle, and the store and Marines utilize a tactical logistics patrol to FOBs in need.
Our job is important because it boosts morale of the guys that are out there. Some of the supplies they might not get from care packages, or some of the things they might need, you name it, we can take it out there to them and boost their morale by getting some of the things that they might be wanting out there.
In addition to the Marine manning the mobile PX, a dispersing technician is sent out to allow service members to obtain a cash advance on their next paycheck.
Basically what we do out here is we follow the PX team, and we're just providing support for them, so when the Marines come out they can pull out cash from their paycheck.
Marines and sailors who are deployed at remote locations throughout Helmand Province look forward to the West Team Marines arriving at their FOBs.
Whenever anybody sees the PX truck, that's all you hear about. People saying, oh, the PX truck's here. Then all you see is a massive crowd of people walking towards wherever the PX truck's at. Like, it's it's definitely a morale booster for all the Marines at the FOB.
Whether the West teams travel to larger forward operating bases where several hundred service members are stationed, or they travel to smaller patrol bases where only a handful of Marines are, these NCOs take pride in knowing they are providing a morale boost for fellow deployed service members.
I enjoy it because of the gratification of the Marines. They really appreciate it, and we're able to take stuff out to them that they couldn't get anywhere else.
Afghanistan's rough terrain makes vehicle maintenance a constant priority while forward deployed. While tactical vehicle maintenance is done at every level in the Marine Corps, when it comes to major mechanical or structural issues, the Marines and non-commissioned officers with Motor Transport Maintenance Platoon, Maintenance Company, 1st Maintenance Battalion minus reinforced, are able to fix these problems in country. The platoon conducts 3rd echelon level maintenance at Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan, to ensure tactical vehicles remain in the fight.
3rd echelon maintenance is where we change out major components on the vehicles. We change the engines, the transmissions, transfer cases, the axles, everything like that. It's very important to the outer lying units because without us, their vehicles aren't going to be able to make it.
In addition to having the ability to conduct major repairs here at Camp Leatherneck, the platoon also has a contingency of Marines at different forward operating bases throughout Helmand Province.
Our platoon has Marines at outerlying FOBs who also have smaller setups, less Marines, but they're able to handle a lot out there. They got a setup where they can take a smaller amount of trucks, get the vehicles in and out, make repairs on them.
By having the capability to conduct high-level maintenance, the maintenance Marines are able to get tactical vehicles back on the roads in a timely and efficient manner.
3rd echelon maintenance capabilities here in Afghanistan is vital to what we do because, one, as an infantry regiment, we don't have time to sit still very much. Our trucks are on the road constantly. Our 2nd echelon mechanics fix what they can, but having the capability to have the vehicle, have an engine replaced, have welding done on it, and everything else keeps the vehicles in the battle space and helps us support the warfighter out there.
Prior to getting the vehicles back to units across the battle space, the NCOs of the Quality Control Section ensure the vehicles are prepared to once again handle Afghanistan's rough terrain.
These trucks are going back out to the battlefield, so it's my responsibility to make sure that they're going to go back out the way they need to be so they can be reliable. And it's important to me that I know that they're going to have a reliable truck and a safe truck to go out into the battlefield with.
The maintenance Marines and NCOs work extremely hard to ensure the vehicles they receive leave their lot in the best possible condition.
There's a lot of pride involved for everyone. There's a lot. It means a lot to myself and the Marines to be able to see this vehicle that has to get dragged on our lot with another truck or come in on the back of a trailer, and within a couple days to a week-long turnaround, it's able to roll back out to the owning unit, better condition that they've ever seen it. It's a lot of pride for us.
Marines and sailors are currently spread throughout Helmand Province, Afghanistan, conducting multiple operations. Combat Logistics Battalion 4 has detachments of Marines at multiple forward operating bases who are responsible for coordinating the movement of personnel and cargo throughout the battle space and the onload and offload of aircraft. At Forward Operating Base Nolay, a group of 12 CLB-4 Marines and non-commissioned officers complete many tasks. In addition to running the Arrival Departure Airfield Control Group, commonly called the ADAG, the detachment also runs heavy equipment operations. At FOB Nolay, Sergeant Matthew Lashinsky and Corporal Anthony Vasquez run the show for their battalion. These two non-commissioned officers ensure the CLB-4 mission is accomplished at the FOB. Corporal Vasquez, the FOB's ADAG non-commissioned officer in charge, is responsible for cargo and personnel.
Our mission here is to support 17 and the surrounding units. We manage the inbound and outbound of all cargo and personnel to the FOB. We also push out cargo to like the smaller PBs with via external lifts. Sergeant Lashinsky, the chief heavy equipment operator and the CLB-4 detachment non-commissioned officer in charge, is responsible for the safe onload and offload of all arriving and departing aircraft. Additionally, Sergeant Lashinsky is responsible for his battalion's Marines at the FOB.
I'm responsible for all the CLB-4 Marines on this FOB. Look out for their morale, well-being, make sure that they're doing their job at all times, and that they're always maintaining professionalism on this base.
Having the opportunity to run their sections in a deployed environment is something both of these NCOs appreciate and enjoy.
It means a great deal to me. I mean, it just shows me that my staff NCOs, my officers, they're confident in my ability to run this ADAG by myself and with my junior Marines. I mean, to me, being out here all alone without any supervision, it's just one of those things that you don't really see every day back in the rear.
With CLB-4 detachments spread throughout the area of operations, the battalion's Marines and non-commissioned officers work day and night to ensure personnel, gear, and equipment gets to where it is needed throughout the battle space. Fuel is a necessity for combat operations, and ensuring service members throughout Helmand Province have the fuel they need is the responsibility of General Support Motor Transport Company, 1st Maintenance Battalion Minus Reinforced, and their non-commissioned officers. The Marines and sailors of the company hire local Afghans, inspect them and their trucks, and then escort the civilians and fuel to different forward operating bases throughout the battle space.
What we're doing today is we are going through several local national fuel trucks. We're getting ready to move fuel to a couple different forward operating bases. We actually contracted out. All we do is we provide the logistical support for the local national truckers to move the fuel about.
When preparing for the fuel movements, the Marines and their non-commissioned officers conduct multiple inspections on not only the trucks, but also the drivers. When inspecting the Afghans, the Marines check their person for contraband. Additionally, the Marines utilize a technology called the Biometric Automated Tool Set and handheld interagency identity detection equipment, also known as the Bats and Hide.
Today we came out here with the Bats and Hide system to try to get some information on the local national truck drivers that we're hiring to transport the fuel. Just vetting them, making sure that they're not linked to any kind of negative activity.
After each driver is inspected and screened, the next step is searching their trucks for contraband as well as conducting mechanical inspections.
We inspect everything from the fluids. We have them started up to make sure the engine runs correctly, like there's no air leaks, fuel leaks, any type of fluid. We have to make sure all the tires are, like, they're not going to blow out when we go out on the road, and we have to make sure that they have spares, so if they do blow out, then they can change it very quickly.
While inspecting drivers and their trucks may take some time, the non-commissioned officers continue to improve upon the process, and their Marines consistently get better with each completed mission.
I think my Marines are doing an outstanding job out here. We've come out here and done this several times, and with repetition is going to come muscle memory. So every time we come out here, the job gets done more thoroughly and more quickly as well.
The opportunity to work alongside the Marines and deliver fuel throughout the area is something the local Afghans appreciate.
Well, I think it is very good, especially if it's for the peace for Afghanistan and for the people.
The primary threat on all service members' minds when they leave the security of their forward operating base or patrol base is improvised explosive devices. This tactic continues to be the enemy's #1 method of engaging coalition forces who are conducting mounted or dismounted patrols. To help remove this threat from the battlefield, explosive ordnance disposal technicians are spread throughout the battle space. In the Sangin area of Helmand Province, Baker Company, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, is responsible for patrolling the streets and eliminating insurgent activity. Supporting Baker Company in this mission are two-man EOD teams from 1st Explosive Ordnance Disposal Company.
Basically the main mission as an EOD tech or as an EOD team is to mitigate and dispose of explosive hazards that are in the way, hindering missions of the ground forces out here right now.
The two-man EOD teams consist of one non-commissioned officer and one team leader. The teams support both the Brown Zone, which is a densely populated area with multiple compounds and structures, and the Green Zone, an area with heavy vegetation, and ensure explosive hazards are rendered safe.
Basically anything that's explosive that needs to be rendered safe, obviously is going to fall within our job description.
The teams are prepared to travel throughout their area of operations at a moment's notice to investigate, remove, or destroy any explosive hazard the infantry company may encounter.
We'll support them as they need us, basically on call throughout the day. If they feel necessary, or if we feel necessary, we will embed with them and go on routine patrols or named operations.
The unique skill set that these EOD non-commissioned officers and team leaders bring to the fight is critical to successful operations and has saved countless lives.
If we did not have EOD, one, when we came across explosives, when we came across mines, when we came across IEDs, we would have to drive around them and they would stay there because we wouldn't be able to dismantle them. Two, I think you have a lot more civilian casualties because without EOD, they would still be out there. It allows us to do our job, allows us to get from one place to another, and it's a great team effort.
The EOD technicians enjoy the opportunity to work alongside one another in a combat zone.
I get to serve with some of the finest Marines you'll ever meet, which are in the EOD community. And then on top of that, you get supported by some more of just outstanding Marines here in the infantry battalions, and it's truly a blessing to be able to call yourself an EOD tech.
Moving supplies and equipment around the upper Helmand River Valley to meet the changing operational requirements of a regimental combat team can be a tricky task. The logistics experts at Combat Logistics Battalion 4, however, have done just that, providing the Marines and sailors on the front lines the logistics support they need to continue operations. Platoon loadmasters have played a key role in this success, making sure that the right goods get on the right trucks. The loadmaster process starts when the supported units communicate to CLB4 what their support requirements are. Once the loadmaster knows what supplies and equipment need to be transported, he can begin preparations for the Combat Logistics Patrol.
Supporting units send out a request to the battalion S3, and they compile everything on a spreadsheet and hand it out to the loadmasters within the companies. Once that's been done, the loadmasters go by what priority of classes of gear that they're taking to different FOGs and COGs throughout the operating AO.
Loadmasters personally ensure that the supplies and equipment are safely and securely prepared for transport.
We get what we need to pick up from Leatherneck. We'll call the point of contact, schedule a pickup time, set out the gear set in which we're going to pick it up with. We go over there, ensure it safely gets loaded, and then we bring it back here and stage it.
The loadmasters continue to monitor the supplies and equipment during the Combat Logistics Patrol phase, where the supplies are transported to forward operating bases and combat outposts by the motor transportation platoons.
Once the clip starts, pretty much try and keep our eyes on the loads as best as possible, make sure nothing shifts. I mean, we'll check the loads before we go out on the clip just to make sure it's tight and nothing's going to shift or fall off. Once we get to the FOBs or COPs, we'll hit up the point of contacts or the units associated with whatever gear we're dropping off, and from there bring the trucks up to their staging area or their lot, and we'll pretty much make a liaison with them and offload it there. And if they got backhaul they want to take back, usually we'll have a preset list of what we need to take back. If not, if we got space for it, we take back whatever we can.
Loadmasters are also responsible for planning the retrograde of equipment and supplies back from the forward operating bases and combat outposts. This process frequently requires the loadmasters to adjust their load plan during the Combat Logistics Patrol to meet changing operational needs and maximize the use of open bed space on the trucks.
Once we transport all the gear up to a FOB or COB, the FOB or COB normally has gear that needs to be returned to the main hub. Once we identify that gear and we prioritize that gear by classes, we go ahead, load it, equally distribute it throughout the vehicles. So I try to get as much on these vehicles that I possibly can.
Highly experienced and hardworking Marines are chosen to fill the Loadmaster billet because of its inherent importance to the logistics support mission.
The purpose of having a solid NCO as the Loadmaster is simply he's the backbone of what the logistics does, what we do here in Afghanistan. Not having a solid Loadmaster could be the difference of that unit that you're supporting, not in getting the food, chow, whatever they need. On the other hand, could be the difference of them getting their supplies or not.
As much as any other Marines in the battalion, the loadmasters are responsible for ensuring that the Marines and sailors on the front get the logistics support they need to complete the mission.
Marine Corps advisor teams have and continue to play a major part in preparing the Afghan National Security Forces for the future. A small group of Marines and one corpsman with the embedded partnering team, Combat Logistics Battalion 5, work daily with Afghan National Army soldiers of the 5th Kandak, 1st Brigade at Camp Garmshir, Afghanistan. The EPT conducts various training evolutions to help better prepare their Afghan counterparts.
Everything across the board from maintenance to medical. We do live fire shoots. A lot of maintenance interaction and partnering with our parent battalion, COB5. They have a lot of assistance and input on the maintenance section.
In addition to helping the ANA with their logistics capabilities, the EPT non-commissioned officers also help the ANA NCOs learn what it means to be a small unit leader.
Throughout their companies, the majority of their soldiers are NCOs, so you know the way how our Marine Corps, the NCOs are the backbone of the Marine Corps, so we try to instill the same concept to the Afghan soldiers, explaining them the importance of the NCO roles and responsibilities and how their leadership will in turn shape their company to be successful in everything that they do.
By working alongside the ANA on a daily basis, the EPT NCOs have set the example for how non-commissioned officers should lead. The CLB-5 embedded partnering team has the unique job of not only training the 5th Kandak 1st Brigade logistically, but also teaching the ANA soldiers core values and leadership traits and principles.
Day in and day out throughout the battle space, regardless of the battlefield function that's being done out there, it's NCOs that are in the lead and making things happen. So it's important that as our logistics NCOs are interacting with the logistics NCOs in the Afghan formations, that they get a feel for that they understand that they are the ones at the point of contact, making things happen out there.
Luxuries in a combat zone are not easy to come by. Luckily for the Marines and sailors at Forward Operating Base Nolay, there is a group of 8th Engineer Support Battalion non-commissioned officers and their Marines to help make their living conditions a bit more comfortable. The 8th ESB detachment purifies water for the Marines and sailors at the FOB so they can enjoy a shower after a long day of patrolling in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Additionally, the detachment provides a laundry service and produces drinking water for the service members at the FOB.
It's important to have water because with the water we use it to for the cooks. Cooks use it to make the chows. Without the water, we won't have potable drinking water. And with the water, we also operate the showers with it and the laundry units. So, I mean, water is an important asset.
Along with purifying water, the detachment of 8th ESB non-commissioned officers and their Marines also maintains 2 generators that are responsible for powering the majority of the FOB. Ensuring the generators are functioning properly is vital. These generators not only power the laundry facility and shower tent, but also provide electricity to the medical facilities and maintenance facilities on the FOB.
Well, we power the tactical water purification system over here, so we can purify water. We power the ACs for our tents and all the electrical support requirements for each tent individually.
Finally, the small group of 8th ESB Marines is responsible for all fuel operations on the FOB. From fueling smaller generators throughout the base to filling up tactical vehicles prior to mounted patrols, the bulk fuel Marines keep operations moving.
Here we provide fuel support to any of the convoys that come through, and also all the HE and generators that we have out here on the FOB. And you know, without us here supporting all the vehicles that come through or the vehicles that are just on the FOB, all the trucks got to get gear somewhere, and trucks can't get anywhere without fuel.
The 8th ESB non-commissioned officers and their Marines continue to ensure life at the FOB is as comfortable as possible. Generators are working properly and power much-needed assets, and that fuel is always readily available. Reporting from Forward Operating Base Nolay, I'm Sergeant John Jackson. During combat operations, some service members make the ultimate sacrifice. Marines with personnel retrieval and processing ensure these heroes' final trip home is paved with honor and respect.
We really have two different types of missions. We have search and recoveries, which is where we'll actually go out and collect the hero. Anything from vehicle IEDs to downed helicopters, we'll go out there. Then we also have when the hero will come directly to us from either the hospital or maybe the unit will bring him in. And what we do is we document everything. We make sure he has all his personal effects, and we make sure we get him home in a timely manner.
The PRP detachment at Camp Bastion, Afghanistan has 2 teams of Marines who are responsible for all fallen service members, Civilian Department of Defense personnel, U.S. coalition forces, contractors, and local nationals within Regional Command Southwest's area of operations. While PRP Marines may have one of the toughest jobs, the Marines know how significant their mission is.
The reason it's so important for us is mostly for the families and our fellow brothers at arms. You know, we want to make sure everyone gets home with the proper dignity and respect they deserve after the sacrifices they gave.
While the PRP mission may be a difficult one, the NCOs of the detachment ensure their Marines are prepared in every way.
As that small unit leader, our job is to not only make sure that the processing of the hero and the evacuation of the hero back home to his home and to his family is done smoothly, but also that our Marines are mentally safe, spiritually safe, as well as physically safe.
The professional manner in which PRP Marines complete their mission sends a positive message to service members, family members, and the nation.
These are Marines who know their business. They know their business better than anyone else out there, and I could not be more proud of their accomplishments out here. And most importantly, though, I couldn't be more proud of the professional manner in which they handle their duties and the way that they take care of our heroes.